Hello everyone, this is Francis here again with another Forex weekly forecast, and in this week's forecast I'm going to be analyzing chfjpy, pound USD and USD Chinese yuan, and I'm going to be analyzing these pairs from the monthly time frame down to the 4 hours time frame. That's full top down analysis. We are going to be seeing what price is doing, where price has been, and where price will most likely be heading in the next coming weeks or months, as the case may be. So I would advise you to stay till the end of this video because there's a lot of educational content to be taken from this video. Without further waste of time, let's get down to the analysis. So this is the monthly time frame on chfjpy, and from this we can see that we have this triangle pattern right here, and normally after this type of patterns, especially after a breakout such as this, we'll expect a retest of the pattern and then continuation upwards, and that's why I highlighted this area here. So from the monthly time frame, I can expect to see price make it up into 1835 because of the break and retest of this triangle pattern we had over here. So this is what I have from the monthly time frame. I am expecting to see price make it up into this area, but one thing to keep in mind is that this is the monthly time frame, and it could take 2, 3, 4 months before price will actually make it up into this area. It could also take less than a month. So from the monthly time frame, this is what we have. We expect to see price make it up into this area over the next coming months, as the case may be. So let's see what we have from the weekly time frame. Alright, so this is the weekly time frame. I'll shrink that a little. Yeah, so this is the weekly time frame, and we can see the retest we have on the monthly time frame right at this point. And however, from the monthly time frame, we expected to see price make it up into this high, but from what we can see right here, we can see that price has found resistance at a major level of resistance over here. If we have to look back in history, we can see that that area has acted as resistance at this point, acted as resistance 3 times at this point, acted as resistance about 4 weeks back, and once again this week it has respected this area once again as resistance. If we are to still go back, we can see it acting as support back here. We have support at this point, we have resistance, we have support, we have resistance at this point. So it's obvious that this level is a very important level in the market, and we can see price has rejected it again this week. So from this area, with this kind of rejection, the move we expected from the monthly time frame might not be ready right in, about now. So before we can expect the move upward to materialize, then we have a little bit of structural levels around here that we expect to see price give at least a weekly close above. So if price will give us a weekly close above 1439, then we would have had enough confirmation that this resistance zone here has been broken, and we can expect to see price make it up into this high. But as long as price remains below this zone, then it means we will most likely see price make another push lower into these lows around here, and possibly this trend line support right here. So let's see what we have from the daily time frame. Alright, so this is the daily time frame on chfjpy, and what we can see first is a giant double top formation. It has not been completed yet, however it's in the process of it's currently forming. So at this point we can expect to see further loss on this pair down into 1251, possibly 1162. We can see how Thursday's candle rejected this the higher part of the zone, and you can see how Friday's candle closed back within this area, that's within the 1388 and 1251 area of structure. So with this, we can expect to see further decline in the price of chfjpy. So now we've established that as long as price is below this area on the weekly closing basis, we'll most likely see price drop further on chfjpy. So now, how do we take entry on this pair? We know that this is the area I'm targeting as my objective, at least first of all, because of this double top we have over here. I'd like to exit here and see how price we react to this area, if we will have a close below the neckline, or if we will have a kind of range within these highs and these lows over the next coming weeks or months. So I'm expecting to see price drop further into this area. Let's go into the 4 hours time frame and see how when we can take an entry. Okay, so on the 4 hours time frame, I have an ascending wedge pattern right here. We can see how price made the break of this wedge pattern. That's number one. Number two, we have a double top pattern over here on the 4 hours time frame. You can see the two eyes, and we have the neckline right at this point, and price already closed below the neckline. So right here now, we have two different confluence factors pointing price lower. We have a rising wedge pattern, of which the support has been broken, although it has not been retested as resistance. We have a double top pattern, of which the neckline has been broken. So at this point, I would expect to see price retest these areas as new resistance before continuation lower. And this is the neckline over here. This is the same support I will expect price to retest for this ascending trend line. I will not want to see price rise high into this area. If not, the retracement will be too deep, and it will not be good for, it won't be very appealing for a trade anymore. So I expect to see price reject 1388 for continuation lower. So if the price will make it up into this area, now I'll be waiting for one of my valid trading signals, and if price will provide me with the signal, then I'll be taking a trade down to 1251 with good risk to reward. So this is going to be all on chfjpy. Let's go to pound USD. Okay, so this is the monthly time frame on pound USD. Alright, so now from this monthly time frame, what we can pick first is that we have strong support down here. You can see it acting as support at that area I just highlighted. You can see it acting as support right here. You can see it acting as support right here again. So from this area now, I can expect to see price actually make it up into these areas around here. So this is what we have from the monthly time frame, a bullish pound USD. So let's see what we have from the weekly time frame. Alright, so from the weekly time frame, we can see that it's a little bit choppy, but what we can pick out is this area. We had one resistance there, we had another resistance around there, and then we can see that price has not touched this descending trend line yet. So right now it's a little bit dicey, because as long as this resistance remains intact, we might see price touch it and come lower once again. That's a possibility, as much as we might see a break and a continuation above. So let's go into the daily time frame and see what we have from the daily time frame. Alright, so this is the daily time frame of pound USD, showing much more information. So from this, we can see this wedge pattern that formed over here. And in the last video analysis I made, I talked about the price was somewhere around here. And I talked about the possibility that price will give us a retest of this area and continuation lower. I highlighted this area as one of my objectives, and can see how price got to that area and found support at that 2281 level before it changed direction back upwards. So the moment I saw a daily close above 2426, that's when I knew that the price had changed direction. So I had to readjust. I had to adjust my analysis to the new price action which I was seeing on my chart. So now we have price above 2558, and below this descending trend line resistance, which should be around 2676. So this is what we have from the daily time frame. We have resistance at this area and we have support at this area. So as long as these two areas are intact, I don't think it will be wise to be trading this pair right away. So the best thing to do will be either to wait for a daily close below 2558, or a daily close above 2666. That's this resistance, the trend line resistance we have over here. So if we get a daily close above this area, then we want to see a daily rejection of this area for continuation higher into this ascending channels resistance, or 2899. That's if we get a daily close above there. However, if on the other hand we get a daily close below 2558, then I'll be dropping to the 4 hours time frame to position myself for a trade. And this is where like we can see, I already have an ascending trend line, which we had one touch around there, we had another touch around there. So normally I would always say, if I get a break of the ascending trend line, then I should start looking for trading opportunities. But in this case, I will want to see a close below this level of structure around here. That's, I would like to see price close below here. Then on the retest, that's when I'll be taking a trade down into this support and possibly the trend line support around here. And the reason is because from the larger time frames, there's much more possibilities of price moving higher. So this could be a force. If price will come here, could fail, and we'll just see continuation upwards. So I want to see at least a daily close below 2558. Then if I'll get a daily close below that, then I'll be expecting to see retest of that level. Then on the retest, I'll be taking a trade if my entry rules will be satisfied. My target will come in at 2426. So let's go to the last pair for today, which is USD Chinese yuan. Now I don't really talk much about exotic pairs, but this particular pair seems to be providing a very delicious opportunity, and that's the reason why I'm talking about it today. So this is the monthly time frame of USD Chinese yuan, and what can we see from this? We can see our price made this first wave, came lower, made the second wave higher, creating a higher high. So in the long run, this is actually an uptrend on USD Chinese yuan. Now if we are to track the order flow, we can see that from this low we had price at previous resistance. Price rejected that resistance at this point, came back to retest previous structure around there, found support at this area, and from that area we can see the next move into these highs around there. So from this resistance at 1929, price dropped again to support at 9758. Price found support at that level and rose again to retest previous resistance once again. That's the 1929 resistance, and then we can see price dropping again. So what do we have from the monthly time frame? We have the possibility of a double top pattern from the monthly time frame. So this pattern has not been completed yet, which means we can actually still see a move into this resistance, and could just see consolidation over the next couple of months, as the case may be. However, I will expect to see price touch this area, that's 97.58 area of structure. Then from there we want to see how price will proceed. So our objective is at this area. Let's go into the weekly time frame and see what we have. Okay, so this is the weekly time frame, and what we can see clearly from the weekly time frame is that we have an ascending trend line. One at that point, we have another touch, and price is yet to touch the trend line again, which means we still have room for a push lower. And we can see that the price is actually already on that impulse lower. So all we just need is a point of entry to take this trade down to this area. So let's see what we have from the daily time frame. Okay, so this is the daily time frame. Now this is not the line I just highlighted on the weekly time frame. This is another trend line I have on my chart right here, and we can see how the price came from this monthly high I highlighted back here. You can see how it came, found support at this point twice before we had the break of support. So now with the break of support, what should we expect next? We expect support to be tested as resistance. So this is what I'll be waiting for, a retest of support as resistance, then a continuation down to my overall target. And at this point, that's when the price will be meeting with what we already have on the weekly time frame. So this is what I want to see, a retest of previous support as resistance. Then from there I'll be looking for an entry, a valid entry signal to take this trade down into 95.85. So let's go into the 4 hours time frame and see what we have from the 4 hours time frame. So this is the 4 hours time frame, and from the 4 hours time frame we can see price giving us a possibility for an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. So with this type of pattern, we could just wait for a close, probably a 4 hours close above the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Then with that, you could take a trade to this to the resistance at 0.518. However, I'm not interested in that because trading retracement doesn't give good risk to reward, and trading is all about risk to reward. You need to be able to stack the odds in your favor. If this will not give me up to a 2-to-1 risk to reward, then I'm not going to be interested in taking this trade. However, I have already said I expect to see price touch this area. So if at this area I'm going to get a good signal, one of my valid signals, then I'll be looking for short trades to the overall target highlighted on the daily time frame, which is the 95.85 target, which means I expect to see price touch this area, give a valid signal from here, then from there I'll be taking short trade into 95.85. So that's going to be all with this my analysis for this weekend. As the week goes by, if I see more profitable trading opportunities, I'm going to publish it. But for now, this is all I have. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, subscribe, click on the bell notification to enable you get our videos whenever we upload them. Do share, leave a comment in the comment section below, let me know what you think about it. Till we meet in the next video, do stay profitable and have yourself a wonderful weekend.